Well, this thing behind me is interesting, I guess. It's don't get me wrong, it's a great idea. I love the fact that there are people out there trying to make a Halo community that is worth being involved. It's one thing I think Halo has actually struggled with in recent years is actually a community that not only loves the games but supports creators and supports games. And I mean that in a sense of creators that don't just doom the current state of Halo. Sure, Halo may not be the Titan that it was back in '07 up to about 2014, but there's still much to look forward to in the Halo series, I think. And that's coming from somebody who's been playing for 18 years or so now. Oh, God, that's a long fucking time. But I want to talk about this because this is something that does need to be talked about. This community aspect is something that is absolutely wonderful. I love the idea behind this, and I will not undermine that one bit. It's something that I think is great. But undermining the artistic talent that exists within the Halo community is absolutely insane to me. Using AI art instead of commissioning an artist that actually does work and actually cares about the Halo community is something that actually baffles me. And I know plenty of them. And you should too. If you're involved in the Halo community, you should go actually find some of these artists because they're absolutely phenomenal. And for those that don't know, because you're seeing this on TikTok, I'm doing a full video on this, and you should go check it out because we're going to be shouting out some artists. We're going to be talking about some artists, and it should be out either today or tomorrow. But this right here is something that just kind of bothers me. It feels very misguided. It feels very like a slap to the face. We care about community, but we don't actually care about the artistic talent that exists within the community. And this is an issue that's been going on for a long time, but it's really sad to see it happening more often in the Halo community when you have phenomenal artists that do renders or full graphic design and stuff of that nature. And it's just sad to see. And I truly do hope they change this or at least roll back on it because it's just sad. And instead of going the route of AI, either one, just make your own announcement for it and actually put some effort into it, or two, commission an artist to do a design for it and then announce it through that. Because truly, that's what matters most. If you want to care about community, you should care about all aspects of the community, not just oh, we care about esports and the actual player side. You should care about the artists too that help keep these games alive and show them the love that they deserve. I mean, it's a huge integral part of not only just gaming, but really any artistic form. So, yeah, let's fix this. Let's not do that anymore. Okay, that's bad. So if we can, let's just stray away from it instead of making stuff that looks like this. It's bad. It just doesn't look good. And to anyone that is excited for this whole community thing, continue to be excited about it. Continue to actually enjoy it. But remember, there's other aspects of the community as well. There's people that would do way cooler things with this than a fucking robot. And yeah, that's really it. Goodbye. Hey there, it's your boy Coreboy. We're back at it again today with a new video. Hope you liked the little video I put here at the beginning of this because well, it's out everywhere. It's gonna be out on like all like the short form content places I uploaded. So if you don't follow my Instagram or my TikTok, it's all there. I mostly just use YouTube for my long form content. That's what I like to do here. But I do upload like some shorter form content everywhere else. I'm getting back into it, working on like some cool machinimas and stuff like that. And I put together that really goofy one that y'all just seen today, talking about a Halo announcement that is actually a really cool announcement. Something that I was actually like very excited for when I heard about it last night from a friend of mine. I was like, "Oh, this is fucking sick!" Like the fact that we're trying to like create an actual community around the whole Halo space and everything. I think it's just super fucking sick. I love the idea of that. I know that Halo is like not the Titan that it once was. It's not, the big title that it was back in 2007 up to like 2014. It's definitely, had its low points, and we're at a low point right now in the Halo community. So any form of getting the community together to actually work together towards something greater, I think is just a huge positive note overall. But today we actually are going to talk a little bit more in depth about that whole thing because the skit that I did was supposed to be just kind of goofy and like kind of half-assed, because well, that's what AI art deserves, is half-assed work, and I just thought it was kind of funny, so I decided to throw it the fucking together because it's awesome. But this whole announcement is something that like I said, I was very excited for when I initially heard about the idea, and then seeing it as something that they promoted using AIR in a way to get the community together whenever there is a whole community of amazing Halo artists, people that do graphic design, that do paintings, that do drawings, that do renders, that make machinimas, animations, and things of that nature. I mean, there's full scale communities of nothing but Halo artists, and the fact that we're undermining them and just using something like fucking AIR is just absolutely insane to me. I don't understand how people are like okay with that. And there is a lot of people that are very upset about it. Actually, a very outspoken group of people that are very upset about it because it's absolutely ridiculous to see that being like, we care about bringing the community together, except you. We won't, put you in the spotlight. It's only the people that we want to see in the spotlight. And I think it's kind of ridiculous because it actually drives away from a lot of the really good elements of the Halo community. The artistic community of Halo has brought Halo into spotlight more than most any other area of Halo ever fucking has, because people see the cool in-game screenshots people take that are so well done and so beautiful and so well put together, to the renders that people do where they completely redesign your Spartan and it's just absolutely fucking amazing, or just the general artistic side of the games. It's something that to me is huge and something that has actually been plaguing things like gaming or music in recent years, the whole rise of AI, which is absolutely terrible, by the way. If you support that, then you were just an absolute idiot, and I don't assume that you actually give a shit about art. You care about getting it fast and done the easy way instead of actually putting the work in and getting it done. And I'm talking from somebody who cares about art, somebody who, does work in the music world. I run my own publication. I play an instrument. I write music, and I actually really give a fuck about that. And someone who was actually like super into drawing whenever I was, in my like teens and everything, to the point where I got like pretty decent. I wasn't the best by any means. There's no way I could ever forward myself as that. But I care about art, and I care about the integrity behind art. And the people element of art is truly what makes it such a wonderful fucking thing. And I always say this, especially when I'm talking about music, one thing that I will always mention is people, when it has the humanity side of it, it adds their own flair to it. It adds their own style, their own uniqueness to these things. And seeing that being undermined by AI is something that I just cannot stand beside, and it really makes me upset because this is, like, in theory, something that is really, really good for the Halo community. Like I said, I have been involved with the Halo community since I was a kid, and one thing I've always loved was the artistic side of it, or people who just make really cool things, or even just care about the community side of Halo, because truly, to me, that is the most important aspect of literally anything that you can get involved in, is having the community behind it that actually cares about it. Rather it's music or games or whatever it may be, it's like a genuine, really important aspect of these things, is having that humanity side of it, because it gives your own personal feeling to it. It doesn't take away from that. And this is just kind of upsetting, and I'm very happy that people are actually speaking out against it and being like, hey, no, this shouldn't be in our realm. Like, this isn't what Halo is about, because it's truly not what Halo is about. It's about the community aspect, especially when a community is already kind of struggling. It means much more then than ever before. And kind of losing out on that, to me, is just kind of a slap in the fucking face to so many great artists and great people. Even like some of my own friends that do art and stuff of that nature. It feels like a slap in the face. And even as somebody who's been recently looking forward, like, to commission a Halo artist to do some stuff for the channel and for streaming and everything, because I truly do want, like, somebody to actually work on it. Like, for example, my emotes are all Silent Hill themed, and shout out to my friend Boop for doing that. She's an absolutely phenomenal artist. Even though she's not in the Halo community, she's a great fucking artist, and I wanted to be like, hey, I want to support you, so would you care to do this for me? So shout out to her for doing that. I gave her full artistic direction with those two. I was like, listen, I'm giving you the idea of what I want, because it's something that I am personally interested in, it's something that I'm passionate about, but you have full capability to make whatever you want. And it does not bother me one bit. And, having her do that was something that just meant a lot to me, working with a friend of mine, someone that I actually care about, like, when it comes to their content and what they do, because I just think it's super sick. Like, overall, I don't know. This just feels like a missed opportunity to actually connect with a different side of the Halo community that doesn't really get tapped into as much as I think they deserve to, other than through, like, Halo Spotlight and such, which I think is just a phenomenal thing. But yeah, this whole thing just kind of, like I said, it feels like a slap in the face towards that side of the community, and it's really unfortunate, because that's really a side of the community that I personally really fucking care about, and I think a lot of people do as well, and you can see it in the reaction that they have got to this announcement. People being like, what the hell is this? Why would you just completely isolate this area of the Halo community from everybody else? Like, sure, they're not pro players, but that's not the only thing that matters. In fact, I would say this. those people show so much love to the games that they're almost more important than pro players or people who were trying to get into the competitive scene, because that scene right there is accessible to anybody and anyone can get involved with it if you were good at what you do. And it's truly what makes it so special. I would say always, like, the more like common areas actually mean more than, you know, actually sitting there and playing a game, putting hours upon hours into it, because not everybody has the time to, or it's not something they're interested in. To me, it just feels dishonest and disingenuous, at least to the community as a whole, and it's really unfortunate. And I do hope this like whole group like realizes their faults, even though I have seen people talking like, oh, they've done this before and they don't really care. They're going to continue doing it and pass it off as we care about the Halo community, which is really unfortunate. But sometimes that's how things go, and that's one thing I try to create here is like a element of community, and I do want to work on more things that are community centered because it's something that I do care about. I've actually been debating on doing a full Forge video here recently, going over some of the cool things that people have created in Forge, because that's to me a huge part of Halo as well. And guess what? That all is made by people, not a robot by any sense is that made by a robot. Like, you have to be a talented individual to make some of these, you know, game modes, some of these maps and everything that people have made. These like full-on experiences within an experience of itself. It's something that takes a lot of time and effort. And if you aren't going to put the time in to actually learn these things and, you know, put time into it and learn it and perfect it, then what are you doing trying to do something for the community in the first place, in my opinion? That's kind of how I've always looked at it. Like, if y'all know, I do everything here myself. If you watch my content before, I do all my editing myself. I put all my videos together myself. Anytime that I have to put in research into something, I do it all myself. I don't do it with the help of others, but it's because I care enough and I want to be genuine with what I put out. To me, that is just a huge part of what I do. If I'm not being genuine about how I feel about certain things, then I feel like I'm very, like, much misleading people or very much undermining my own capabilities. Like, when I talk about Halo and the current state of Halo, I try to make sure I know as much as possible about these certain things so I can actually properly talk on it and be like, hey, no, this is what you all need to be talking about, or what you all need to be focused on. And I've tried to do that in my short time that I've been doing Halo content, because I want this place to feel like a place where I can actually talk about things, but also be truthful and honest about them. And, you know, when it comes down to talking things like, even like 343 decisions, I'm like, yeah, I may disagree with this, but this could be coming from a bunch of different angles as well. You know, rather it's, you know, microtransactions or new games, whatever it may be. I want to have as much information as I can so I can actually properly talk about it before I start spewing words into nothingness. That's just part of this to me, is being an honest and truthful, almost like, I guess, a fucking journalist, which is, I think, really weird to say. I don't consider myself a Halo journalist. I just like talking about things that are going on in, well, the realm in which I make content in, and if in a game series that I care about. Like, to me, that's just big to me. I'm not going to sit there and spread false information if there's not enough info on it. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, it's just not what I want to do. Now, when it comes to, like, rumors and such, I don't really care to talk about them, like, that often. It depends on how interested I am and how much I can actually, you know, talk about it. Like, what positive thoughts can I give on this? Like, for example, the Combat Evolved remake, like, information that we, you know, got, or kind of rumors that were spreading around for a little bit. My biggest thing with that was, like, well, if this is true, I think it could be good for Halo. Let's talk about, like, what this could mean. Could this be true? Could it not be? There's just so much to go in with it, and it's a lot to dive into. It's absolutely insane to me, and just kind of unfortunate in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's just, it's upsetting as a fan of all the areas of Halo, not just the competitive side. I love the casual side. I love people who just talk about Halo. I love people who do work for Halo, like artwork and stuff of that nature. To me, this just all feels very sad and just kind of unfortunate. But I do want to get some people's, like, words on it and know how people feel about this whole thing. To me, I already have a strong stance on this as somebody who works with, like, artistic minds and people who put out art in their own form. But yeah, I think that's really all. Like, I know this has been kind of a ranty video, and I don't really like doing these, but it's something that just needs to be talked about. But other than that, though, working on a big video right now. I'm trying to get it done as quickly as I can to have it out. It's going to be another kind of sit down and talk video about the Halo community, but that's for a different side of things. But other than that, though, I love you all. And, yeah. Later, dudes.